Yeah, let's get right to it. Let's get right to it as the game just went final at the time of recording. This is definitely the type of game the Miami Heat wish they could have gotten out of the Atlanta Hawks, especially by Minnesota or even the Lakers, because both teams, especially Minnesota in the second half and in the second half and in the fourth quarter, both teams just had a hard time scoring. Minnesota was outscored. Let's see. They scored just 38 points in the third and fourth quarter, 42 if you count overtime as well. And they lost to the Lakers 108 to 102. Lakers almost gave it away though. I mean, Minnesota was in control for the majority of the game. A game they should not have lost. I'm not mad that the Lakers won the game. I'm just mad at how they played, and I have something else that I'm upset about, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. Minnesota turned the ball over 24 times. Like I said, the Lakers weren't much better, turned it over 21 times, but Minnesota just made a bunch of dumb, boneheaded mistakes late in the game to where it's like, and look, they all happy and smiles right now. LeBron, AD, and Schroeder. AD almost gave up the game. Almost, could have very well given up the game. It's just me. I don't know if it's just me, but it's like you got AD who's nearly 7 feet. You got Mike Conley who's like 6 feet or 6'1". So, of course, the majority of you who are watching this saw the game, if not all. And you saw what happened. Schroeder hits the three. Schroeder, Lakers go up 98-95. Minnesota gets the ball, inbound to Conley. AD runs and jumps to contest the shot. It was like 1.4 left. And Conley hits. He didn't make the shot, but AD fouls him. And I'm thinking, dude, you almost 7 feet, and this guy's 6'1". All you in that situation, just run over there and extend your hands as far as you can. Do not jump to contest the shot. If he makes the shot, he just makes the shot. Don't risk. I mean, well, then again, make him make the free throws. You know what? I guess make him make the free throws. But I just didn't understand why he had to go and jump and contest the shot. But Conley almost missed the first free throw. You know what? Make him make the free throws. But anyway. So the Lakers, Schroeder doing his pose when he hit the three. The Lakers hung on to win the game, beat the Timberwolves 108-102. Minnesota led by as much as 15 in this game. And the Lakers, they, like I said, defensively, they got things going in the second half, in the fourth quarter, mainly in the fourth quarter. They did win the third quarter 30-26. Really, put the clamps on the Minnesota Timberwolves in the second half. Minnesota just played like a team out of gas, and the Lakers outscored them 59-40 in the second half in overtime. But the Lakers, we going into this game, we knew that the Lakers were favored big, but we also knew that they were going to have to work for it. We also knew that going in. And when you look at the way the game was going, Minnesota would pull away and the Lakers would make a run, and then the threes, I forgot to even mention Minnesota's threes. I mean, the Lakers won the free throw battle. Minnesota shot just 15 free throws. The Lakers shot 24, but Minnesota hit 16 out of 41 threes. Lakers hit just 10 of 31, but Minnesota, they missed late. And I felt that they should not, just speaking objectively here, Laker fan, but I felt like they should not have been shooting that many threes. Cat was in foul trouble. The Lakers did make their runs when Cat went to the bench because he was, he committed a couple boneheaded fouls. But, all in all, it was a good win for the Lakers. But like I was saying, you knew the Lakers were going to make a run. There was really no doubt in my mind that the Lakers were going to lose this game because Minnesota, I guess I used the word pull away. They did pull away, but they weren't up by 20 or 28. We saw the Lakers come back from a 29-point deficit against Dallas not too long ago. So they were pulling away for what the game was. The game was a defensive game, a sloppy game, turnovers and things like that. So a 15-point lead in a game like this is a big lead. because both teams were just, saying the Lakers defensively smothered the most, but Minnesota, like I said, even when you look at, I guess I can't give all the credit to Minnesota defensively, because the thing that had me on edge, and I'm sure a lot of us, we saw Anthony Davis commit the foul, but the turnovers by LeBron James, the turnovers were just mind-boggling, frustrating. He finished the game with 5 turnovers, and it felt like all of those turnovers came in the fourth quarter and overtime. I don't know if he turned the ball over in overtime, but it was just frustrating because, and it wasn't just him. They're making passes to where they don't have numbers, and you're just like, slow down, pull, like, don't, and passes. It was just frustrating to watch. Lakers could have, they could have put themselves in position to where they weren't down or having to come back and exhaust so much energy in this game. There's the Anthony Davis boneheaded foul, but make the free throws, I guess. But he took the shot, and he wasn't even going to make the shot. The shot hit the side of the glass, the side of the backboard. But yeah, no Rudy Gobert. We knew the Lakers were going to win the game, but like I said, you also knew they were going to make you frustrated as a fan watching them play this game, because it just wasn't pretty. It was nerve-wracking. There are games where it closed down the stretch to where you're having fun at the back and forth, but they were just playing so sloppy I couldn't even enjoy watching it, even though I knew, they're going to win this game, because Minnesota has now for some reason decided to, I was going to say, get away from what was working, but they were still shooting the 3, but it just wasn't falling. At that point, you got to control that clock. And there it is right there. Minnesota had about 2 passes where they picked the Lakers off on the inbound pass. Like I said, more turnovers. But they didn't exactly get away from what was working. Like I said, the shot just wasn't hitting. And not to mention, not Karl Anthony Towns, he did his thing, especially in the beginning. He just didn't come through in the clutch. And Mike Conley, much respect to him as well. The Minnesota, like I said, they were dropping 3s all over. Ant was the guy I was talking about. Ant, you can point at him as one of the reasons they didn't win. Karl Anthony Towns is to blame for some of that, the sloppiness of the team in general. But Ant shot the ball 17 times, 0 for 9 from 3. Should not have been shooting the 3 like that. And he only had 9 points. He did some good stuff defensively, but they need you on offense, Anthony Edwards. They need you on offense. Anthony Davis, 24 points. LeBron, 30, 10 rebounds. Austin Reeves had 12. Dennis Schroeder was the MVP of the game with 21 points off the bench, playing 33 minutes. Hachimura, 12 points. Vanderbilt didn't score, but, he's a defensive guy. Just looking at the games, a low-scoring game, for the year 2023, 108 to 102. But this is exactly the type of game that the Miami Heat could have used tonight from the Atlanta Hawks, because the Heat just have a hard time scoring. They have a really tough time scoring. They cannot score the basket. They don't have that bucket getter, and it showed tonight. And I really think, after this loss to Atlanta, a game that pretty much a lot of people counted the Hawks out of, including myself, I think this is one that's just going to crawl at them. And I think the Raptors are going to beat the Bulls in the 9 versus 10 play-in spot tomorrow. And I think the Raptors are going to beat the Heat. And they're going to be the victims of the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round. I think that'll be Giannis's, if that happens, be Giannis's first time playing the Raptors in the playoffs since Kawhi Leonard was in Toronto. So he'll get some minor get back there. Who else tomorrow? Oh, yeah, Pelicans and Thunder. I got the Pelicans winning that game, and then I think they'll go on to beat this exhausted Minnesota Timberwolves team. And speaking of exhaustion, I don't want to keep y'all here too long, but honestly, this is what I was thinking about. I'm exhausted too. This is what I was thinking about while watching these teams exhaust so much energy. Minnesota, Los Angeles. I mean, even the Hawks and Heat, they're in this too. But just mainly the Wolves and Laker game. I know no one is on this anymore, and it's just me. I know the mainstream analyst guys aren't going to talk about this because, their job is to promote the play-in tournament. Their job is to push it as, this is something exciting, but I do not like this play-in tournament. Let me rephrase that. I like the idea of it, but it doesn't work with what they're doing right here. Every team in the association played 82 games this year. And that's, pretty much the norm, unless we have like the pandemic a couple years ago, unless we have lockouts because they can't reach an agreement, like in 2011 when they played just 66 games, back in 99, just 50 games. But for the most part, it's 82, and every team are playing those games. Like I said, I know I'm the only one that's still on this, but this tournament, for what it's doing now, it's just pointless, it's dumb, it's unfair. So many adjectives I can use, but I'll just leave it at those. There is no reason that the Lakers and Timberwolves should have been exhausting this much energy Lakers trying to keep a spot they already earned. Timberwolves now having to go fight for a spot they already earned. Like I said, I picked the Pelicans to win, but they now have to possibly play a Pelicans team that they beat on the 82nd game of the season to take that 8th spot from New Orleans. And now they have to go defend it again, even though all teams played 82 games this year. Same with Atlanta and Miami. They earned those spots. There's no reason a team that finished in 10th place, not 10th seed, because 10 is not playoffs. Play-in is not playoffs. There's no reason a team that finished in 10th place out of 15 teams should have a chance to come and get that spot, to get that 8th spot. No reason at all. They exhausted. This is the energy. This should have been a game 1 of Lakers versus Grizzlies already. This should have been a game 1 of Timberwolves versus Nuggets. That's what this energy should have been exhausted on. Game 1 of them already in the playoffs. Now, if you want to have a play-in tournament for teams that didn't make the playoffs, and you just want to, for teams who were close, fine. I'm sure you're doing it while putting the 7 and 8 seed on the line, because if you just had a play-in tournament for teams that didn't make the playoffs, which is like a NIT tournament in college basketball, you can look at the play-in as the first 4, which just doesn't make sense. I'm sure you don't want to do that because you know that a lot of guys would opt out. They wouldn't really care to play in it. And it'll be grand opening, grand closing. So, but you go and make the 7 and 8 seed play for a spot that they earned. You're acting like they played 50 games and the 9 and 10 place team played 82. No, they all played 82 games. They all fought for 6 months to try and make the playoffs. So it's not, like I said, it just doesn't make sense. This shouldn't be a thing. It's not going to be something that's talked about because it's here, and it feels as if it's something that's not going anywhere. So we will talk about it, but the tournament just doesn't make sense. Just saying the Lakers and Wolves fight like that. AD tired, LeBron tired, Cat tired, Ant tired. All these guys exhausted, but this energy should have been exhausted on their game 1s of the playoffs. I can go on and on about it, but I'm gonna leave it there. Appreciate y'all for taking this time to hear me out. Lakers will now take on the Memphis Grizzlies. Minnesota now have to go defend their 8th seed and play the winner of the Timberwolves. Rewind. Plays the winner of the Pelicans and Thunder. And the winner of that game The winner of Pelicans or Thunder versus Timberwolves will play the Denver Nuggets in the first round. And yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Appreciate you guys for taking this time to hear me out. Again, we will do the playoff predictions right after the last two play-in games Friday. Come back and give our official predictions before the game ones, tip-off Saturday and Sunday. Appreciate you guys taking this time to hear me out. There are some interesting, really, really good Western Conference matchups. In the East, I guess the only one is the Knicks and the Cavs. You pretty much know what's in store for the Hawks as they take on the Celtics. Pretty much know what's in store for the Bulls, Raptors, or Heat when they take on the Bucks. And you know what's about to happen to Brooklyn when they take on the 76ers. But Kings versus Warriors, that's interesting. Suns versus Clippers, that's interesting. Lakers, Grizzlies, that's interesting. So we're going to leave it there. Appreciate y'all for taking the time to hear me out. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. And we're going to talk soon. We out.